sausage and white beans in a chunky tomato sauce, and you just put it in the middle of the table and dunk big hunks of olive oil soaked charred bread in it. It is so good. It's so simple. It's cheap. I mean, it's just a perfect dish. We're gonna start with how to cook dried beans. Give them a rinse, cover them with 2 inches of water. I throw in some fresh bay, some crushed garlic, and when they come to a boil, lots of salt. Cook them till they're tender. Or you can use, for quick cooking, 2 cans of cannellini. Just like when you're grilling sausages outside, you want to make sure they're fully cooked through. It's very important to parboil them. So I've got my part-cooked sausages, and we're gonna use that delicious liquid that they've cooked in our sauce. Now we can go back to the sauce. We're gonna do celery and onion, 1 large or 2 medium onion, and a couple of ribs of celery with the leafy tops. Throw in all of our celery and onion. Crank the heat back up on that. And we're going to let that sweat out. To get your vegetables to sweat, what do you need? Salt, of course. That's what draws the liquid out over the shoulder. And this dish, we love a lot of rosemary. So take a couple of really fat sprigs of rosemary. So you get your garlic going. Once your veggies sweat out, add your garlic. When we come back, we'll add all of our liquids and get our casserole into the oven right after this. Okay, we're making a sausage, bean, and tomato casserole because it's the casserole time of year. I'm now going to stir in sun-dried tomato paste. Now, when you're cooking with tomato paste, you must stir it for a minute or so before you start adding liquids. Why? Because it's been sitting in a tube. You're trying to wake it up. We're going to add a fat cup of white or red wine, whichever you're serving that night. Then we're going to take that little bit of liquid from cooking our sausages and throw that down into the skillet. To this, we're gonna add a smoky flavor. Fire-roasted tomatoes, a 15-ounce can. A little bit of passata or tomato puree, about the same amount. A little crushed oregano. Of course, we're now going to combine all of these elements together and make our casserole. So your 2 cans of beans, or the 1 cup of cooked off beans, gets married with your tomatoey vegetable sauce. And then we bring it on down. Now, I could bake it right in this pan. It's a Rachael Ray pan. It goes in the oven up to 400. But I like the way casseroles look when you put them in a proper casserole dish. So I'm just gonna clean up the edges here a little bit and add in all of our sausages and nest them down into the tomatoes and vegetables and beans. I know. And then comes the really good part. We're gonna take a ball of smoked mozzarella or scamorza, and you shred that up, because this is a kind of a smoky flavor with the fire-roasted tomatoes and the sun-dried tomato, and you're gonna cover that sucker. Yeah. To eat dishes like this with lots of sauce and casseroles, you gotta have the bread. I'm not allowed to char bread because, like my mother, I tend to set it on fire because I forget about it. So my friend Jeanette is my stunt char and toaster. Jeanette! Come on back, I'll show you what this looks like, and Jeanette will bring back the bread. Okay, so Jeanette has got a lovely char on her bread. I rubbed the bread while it was still warm with some cut garlic. And now we're gonna finish that with nice, fatty, fruity, good olive oil. And then you top that with flaky sea salt. I know, this is delicious. I'd eat that for dinner. But my mother would like me to have some beans to go along with it. So, there we go. Now, the casserole, of course, whatever day you're serving it, you just get the oven screaming hot, 400, 425, and cook it until it's brown and bubbly on top. And then you take out that gooey, delicious, saucy, yeah, I know. That's why I put the cheese on top. All your beans and veggies all cooked together in that delicious flavor. And then you rip off a hunk of bread and jam it down into the sauce and shove that on the plate. There you go.